When you hear the name Mahatma Gandhi, you probably think of peace, right? Nonviolence. But the story of his life ends with an incredible, shocking act of violence. Today, we're diving into the man who led an entire nation to freedom without firing a single shot. And we're going to tackle the ultimate paradox. Why was this global icon of peace assassinated?
Hey, Rama. Oh, God. Just think about that for a second. These were the last words Mahatma Gandhi ever spoke, right at the moment he fell to an assassin's bullets on January 30th, 1948. A truly haunting end to a remarkable life.
So the big question is, how did we get here? How does a man who preached harmony and unity become a victim of such violent hatred? Well, the answer lies in the powerful and, frankly, pretty unconventional weapon that he created. Now, to understand this, we actually have to start our story not in India, but thousands of miles away in South Africa. This is where a young, pretty timid lawyer would end up forging the idea that would one day bring an empire to its knees. So get this, in 1893, just a few days after he arrives, Gandhi gets physically thrown off a train for being Indian, even though he had a first-class ticket. And as he's sitting there, shivering in this dark, cold waiting room all night, something inside him just clicks. He makes a choice. He's not gonna run away from this injustice. He's gonna stay. And he's gonna fight. That one moment lit a fire in him that would burn for the rest of his life. And out of that resolve, a whole new idea was born, satyagraha. Now, don't mistake this for passive resistance. No, this is an active force. You can translate it as truth force or love force. It's a method for fighting oppression without any violence and, crucially, without hating your oppressor. The goal is to awaken their conscience through your own self-suffering. This was the weapon Gandhi forged, and he was about to take it to the world's biggest stage. Okay, so armed with this powerful new philosophy, Gandhi returns to India, and he's ready to use satyagraha against the most powerful empire on the planet. And what was his first major target? Something you probably have in your kitchen right now. 240 miles. To put that in perspective for you, that's like walking from Philadelphia to New York City, and then almost all the way back. And that's exactly how far a 61-year-old Gandhi decided to walk in 1930, all to protest a simple tax on salt. And here's the absolute genius of it. The plan was so simple, it was brilliant. You see, the British had a total monopoly on salt, something everybody needs, and they taxed it. So what does Gandhi do? He just walks to the sea, and in this incredibly profound act of defiance, makes his own salt. By breaking the law in such a simple, visible way, he inspired an entire nation to do the same. You have to understand, this single act just lit a fire across the entire country. The British arrested 60,000 people, but it was too late. It didn't matter. For the first time, you had huge numbers of women, even children, joining the struggle for freedom. This wasn't just some political protests anymore, it was a genuine people's movement. But you know, satyagraha wasn't always about these huge dramatic marches. Gandhi knew that real independence had to be economic too. And for that, he turned to something even simpler than salt, a single piece of thread. Just look at the difference here. On one hand, you've got this foreign, mill-made cloth. To Gandhi, that represented total dependency on the British. It was colonialism in fabric form. But on the other hand, you have khadi, simple homespun cloth. Now that was a symbol of self-reliance. Every person who spun their own thread, who wore khadi, was taking part in a quiet revolution, breaking the chains of economic control. Gandhi put it perfectly himself when he said, "Place khadi in my hands and I shall place Swaraj in yours." Swaraj means self-rule. So for him, the spinning wheel wasn't just a tool, it was an engine of freedom. The simple, daily act of spinning became a meditation on independence. So Gandhi had this incredible vision for a united, independent India. But in the last years of his life, that dream was just shattered by this terrible, violent divide. And this is what ultimately sealed his fate. So in 1947, the British are finally leaving. But as they go, the subcontinent gets carved up into two new nations, India and Pakistan. This event, partition, it was a catastrophe. It kicked off one of the largest and most violent mass migrations in human history. Gandhi had fought against this with everything he had, but the flames of hatred between Hindus and Muslims had been fanned for too long, and the division seemed unstoppable. Okay, so this brings us back to our central question. Why would anyone target a man of peace? Well, it all comes down to this. In a time of extreme hatred, he was preaching unity. He went on a hunger strike to force the new Indian government to pay money it owed to Pakistan. For Hindu extremists who saw Muslims as the enemy, this was the ultimate betrayal. They saw his fairness as a weakness, and they believed he was abandoning the Hindu cause. In fact, they had already tried to kill him with a bomb just 10 days earlier. And the scariest part? His killer felt absolutely no remorse. At his trial, Nathuram Godse just stood up and said, "I shot Gandhiji. I have no regrets. I believe it was the right thing to do." It's just a chilling statement that shows you the depth of the hatred that Gandhi had spent his entire life trying to overcome. But here's the thing. A bullet can kill a man, but it can't kill an idea. And Gandhi's idea, his love force, was about to travel across the ocean and inspire a whole new generation of freedom fighters. And who is its most famous student? None other than Martin Luther King Jr. Right in the middle of the Montgomery bus boycott, a turning point for the American civil rights movement, King himself said that Gandhi was the guiding light for their entire technique. What King did so brilliantly was connect Gandhi's philosophy, which had roots in Hinduism, to his own deep Christian faith. He saw satyagraha as the perfect way to live out that core Christian idea of love your enemies. He understood this wasn't about being weak or passive. It was about using love and truth as a powerful weapon against injustice. In his eyes, it was the most potent tool oppressed people had. So that really brings us full circle and leaves us with a big question for our world today. That idea, that truth force, traveled from a train station in South Africa to a march to the sea in India, all the way to bus boycotts in Alabama. It has proven its power. But when you look at all the conflict in the world today, you have to ask yourself, is nonviolent resistance still the most powerful tool we have?